Welcome to another video from New Smart Money. Today we are going to discuss something that big business does, some people do, but not many people do very well. And what is it? It is budgeting. Now, if you want money to work for you, you need to make sure that you get control of it. There is an old management adage which says you can only manage what you can measure. And so that is why a budget is so important. It helps us to measure what comes in and what goes out. I would like to share today 4 steps which can help you to create the ultimate budget, a millionaire budget, a budget that helps you to move forward in your goals and do better and better financially every single year. This is what I call the smart money budget. Step number 1, you need to measure everything that comes in. So look over the last few months and record all the income that you have coming in. Now, look over the last few months and record all the expenses. Yes, there is online software which can help you, but maybe I'm a bit old school. I prefer to use Excel and type it out from my statements back into the spreadsheet. And as an example, just take the last 3 months. And if in those 3 months I see a particular expense coming in, record it down. So perhaps we're looking at September, October, and November. And we see something like takeouts. And we're able to create a row item for takeouts. And we record in September a number, October a number, and November a number. We take the average of that as how much we are spending over 3 months on takeout. Do this for all your expenses, the automatic ones on your gas and utilities, any rent or mortgage payments, loans, credit cards that come off. Record all these expenses in the spreadsheet. It is very valuable and important that you get this stage right. This is the as is, the level setting, so you understand the playing field that you are dealing with each month. A simple hack you can use to record all your expenses is your credit card or your debit card. Now, I'm not saying spend on credit. That is definitely not the best way to manage and deal with our finances. But I am saying use the credit card instead of cash. What this will enable is for you to have every transaction recorded, and that is vital. Step number 2 is goal setting. And really, this is about you writing down what you want to achieve in the next 5 years. I recommend choosing 5 things of varying types of investments or fun things that you want to do. If we just look at 3 examples, perhaps it's to go on holiday, to buy a pizzeria, and to invest in gold. Now, looking at your goals, rank them in order of importance to you. Firstly, to buy a pizzeria. Secondly, to go on holiday. And third, I would like to invest in gold. Now I want to add a percentage share to each of these. So for me, 50% of my effort to go towards a pizzeria seems reasonable. I'm going to allocate 30% of my effort towards a holiday and 20% towards investing in gold. Now, keep those numbers aside because we're going to use them a little later on in creating our smart money budget. So step 1 was to record everything that goes in and out. Step 2 was for us to understand our goals and to allocate a ranking and a share. Step 3 I call transformation, because this is really where you unlock money in your budget. Remember that spreadsheet you created in step number 1, recording all the expenses? I would like you now to take a sheet of paper and on that paper physically write down the expenses that you have to pay each month, and only those expenses. So things like your mortgage or your rent, your car payments, any schooling, things that really you need to pay. If you didn't pay them, there would be some sort of problem. Don't, however, add in things like entertainment, going out, spending money on different hobbies and the likes. Leave those off the list. Once you've created this minimalist list, sum it up and see what the total is. You should have a much lower number now than what you have been spending each month. Of course, you have stripped out the unnecessary expenses. It's not to say that's your budget, it's just to say that's the very minimum amount that you can pay each month. What I would like you to do now is subtract the total minimal expenses on the sheet of paper from the total income that you get. This will result in your amount of cash left over. By the way, the reason that you use a piece of paper as opposed to just putting another column in a spreadsheet, is that physically writing out your expenses does something in the brain, and it helps you to understand far better what you're spending money on. So really, this is not just another column in a spreadsheet. It is physically writing out each and every expense. We now get on to step 4. You understand how much money comes in, what the minimal amount of money to go out is, and therefore how much money is left over. I would like you to take your goals now and add one more thing to it. Call it fun. This is where you're going to allocate some money to spend on fun. All those things that were coming up, such as hobbies, going out to dinner, and the like. Now, you're going to allocate across the different goals the leftover money. First, take off the fun. Take off 10% for fun and write that under the fun goal. The remaining money now simply multiply by the percent share that you allocated to your goals. So in this example, if I have $2,000 left over each month, I gave buying a pizzeria 50%. So 50% times 2,000 is 1,000. I have $1,000 saved towards my pizzeria. Okay, for the holiday, I said 30%, which means I now have $600 a month saved towards a holiday and $400 a month saved towards gold. The next critical thing to do is to take how much money per month you are now putting into each goal and multiply it by 60, which is 5 years. So at the end of 5 years, you can understand how much money have I spent and invested towards this goal or particular item. For my holiday, that would be $36,000. And on gold, that would be $24,000. Now, if I think about it, is a gold investment of $24,000 in line with my expectations? Absolutely. Is a holiday for $36,000 in line with my expectations? Seems very high. And is having a deposit for my pizzeria in 5 years, $60,000, is that enough? Not at all. I can now adjust between my goals using these numbers to understand and rebalance my future goals that I want to achieve. I would like to now say a little hint, and please hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. And the hint is this: for your fun, try alternating it or try using it over 3 months. So if I have $1,000 allocated towards fun a month, rather than spending $1,000 a month every month, what if I just spent $300 this month and $300 next month, and then did something much bigger for $1,600 in 3 months' time? So the concept is alternating, and it does two things. One, allows for bigger things to be done than what your regular budget can afford by applying a little bit of discipline now and allowing for a bigger effect later. And secondly, it ensures that you don't get familiar with what's going on. When we first came out of university, many of us were like, I want to get a job and I want to be able to go have coffee every day and I want to go out for dinner as much as I want. And you know what? We achieved that. And then suddenly having the coffees every day and having the dinners all the time, it's just not special. And so you devise more and more elaborate ways of entertaining yourself. Using the alternating method, you keep simple things like going out for dinner, having takeouts perhaps, a short weekend staycation or vacation, a camping trip in the woods. You keep it fresh and fun, even though you could afford to do it every weekend. By alternating, you stop the familiarity. So I hope that you have found today's video helpful. Remember, step 1 is your as is. Everything in, everything out. Step 2 is your goal setting and allocating, a ranking and a share. Step 3 is the transformation, where you create your minimalist budget, things that you have to pay only, and figure out what's left over. And step 4, you take fun plus your goals and allocate the remaining money. You're now setting yourself up for a future that is far better positioned financially. I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.